Well, we are going to start with a bit of a celebration as we get to induct today some new members. So I want to call on our membership committee chair, David. David, what's your name again? David, that's it. To come forward. David Fitchford to come forward for our new member induction.
Thank you. Thank you very much. What an exciting day. Yes. Seema, please come up. Seema Balwanii, she was formerly a Rotarian with the club on the West Coast, and she is now with us and has agreed to be a member. Also, Jeff Clark. Jeff, thank you. He's also a past Rotarian. Your club was on the East Coast of Florida, correct? Yeah. And then Linda, do you want to come up and introduce Rob, or come on up, Rob? I'll be glad to introduce you. Rob was with a former Rotarian club here in Dunedin and decided to jump over here because we're such a wonderful group. And so welcome. All right. And so if I could invite Matt to come up. Tom, I mean, my God.
But you had to remember a different name.
Yeah, I did. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I could have said David.
You could have, and anybody would have showed up. I now invite the inductees and their sponsors to come forward, which you have. You have been chosen to membership in the Rotary Club of Dunedin because your fellow members believe you to be a leader in our community, and because you manifest those qualities of head and of heart, which exemplifies the message of Rotary. You are becoming a representative of our club in your profession, social, and personal lives. Your actions are now more than a reflection of who you are, but of who this club is as well. The community will know and judge Rotary through your embodiment of its character and service, and we accept you as a member because we believe our principles and organization to be safe in your keeping. We also expect much from you as you embody the spirit of service above self. We trust your actions will be an inspiration for all of us to be better Rotarians. And with this hope, we most heartily offer you Rotary Fellowship. Fellow Rotarians, it is the duty of our club to add new members from time to time, so that we may not only increase our usefulness and influence as a club, but also extend the spirit of Rotary throughout the community. You are members of an exceptional group of men and women who look beyond themselves to contribute and serve. We must believe that those we add here today will carry on this tradition started over 75 years ago here in Dunedin and over 120 years ago nationally. You have been selected to the membership of the Rotary Club of Dunedin because your fellow members believe you to be a worthy representative of our calling and also possess qualities that exemplify Rotary in your public, business, social, and private life. I wish to impress upon you that you have been admitted not only to the Rotary Club of Dunedin, but to a worldwide association. And by virtue of your membership in this club, you will be welcomed in the fellowship of any Rotary Club in the world. The honor and privilege of Rotary membership carries with it duties and obligations. You will be expected to attend the club's meetings regularly, to perform your share of club service, and to place your knowledge and talents at the disposal of our club. In doing so, together we will improve Dunedin, District 6950, Florida, and our nation, and even the world. I ask all members to rise, please. Seema Balwanii, Jeff Clark, and Rob Scholl. In the name of the Rotary Club of Dunedin, we now formally admit you to membership in the Rotary Club of Dunedin. Sponsors, do we have pins available?
Yes, we do.
Would you please affix the pins to the new members?
I'll take care of it. Okay.
Yeah, we'll do something for a second.
Okay, you got the pen. This is exactly.
Oh, it is? Okay.
We got another one.
Yeah. Come on it. Come on it.
All right, get to it. Get to it, Dave.
Right. We'll give you a Rotary tattoo next week. Okay? Good. Very good.
Fellow Rotarians, I commend to you our newest Rotarian. Let's welcome him heartily into the Rotary Club of Dunedin.
Yay.
I charge each of you to judge yourself by the Rotary four-way test of the things you think, say, or do. Together. First, is it the truth? Second, is it fair to all concerned? Third, will it build goodwill and better friendships? Fourth, will it be beneficial to all concerned? Please be seated. That concludes our induction.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Again, a delight to welcome our newest members of the Rotary Club of Dunedin. Yay, one more round of applause, absolutely. Well, wait, there's more. Actually, at the conclusion of our new meeting today, our regular meeting today, we're going to hold an orientation for some other incoming new members. We're delighted to be able to do that. So wonderful to see our club continuing to grow and thrive and make a wonderful impact in our local community. Pastor Dave, not to put any pressure on you, not to call you out, but I will just know that when I first became a member of this club 7 years ago, I was not the only clergy person in the club. There is room for at least 2 clergy in this club. Now, I will admit that when I first joined, it was an Episcopalian, it was a woman, so a little bit easier to differentiate who we were talking about. But I will also note, though, that there is currently a competition in the club for which name will dominate. We've had a lot of Davids. We got to root for the Davids. We've had an influx of Robs lately, so it's a little concerning that we're getting a little bit too much competition from the Robs. So we really could use another David and certainly another Pastor David. But it's good to have you here, my friend. This is one of our quarterly club assemblies where we talk about and learn more about our club and the work that we do together. And today we are going to hear from our literacy committee, also going to hear about Interact and what is or probably currently is not happening with our Interact club at the high school, and then also our triathlon. And I was wondering, of course, the latter two will both be hearing for those from Larry Franklin. So Pat, I'm wondering, would you mind being first at that? Then the floor is yours, Pat Bauer, to talk about our literacy committee.
I'm giving you some things in writing, so I don't have to, because I presume most of you are here to read what I've written. But one of the things that we have continued over the years.
Yeah, people want to see you.
Oh,
And Julia
knows what I look like. You know? All right, here we are. We have been distributing books to the schools that are signed by our speakers. We don't have a speaker today, so there's not going to be a book signed today. But usually when we have a speaker, that person signs a book, and about Christmas time, the committee makes sure those books get to our elementary schools. We have also continued distributing books to the Little Free Libraries. Renee's not here today, but Renee has taken over this project of distributing books to the Little Free Libraries. And we also collaborate with Women's Club, and we also collaborate with the Friends of the Library to get this done. And it's a fun task. Driving around the Little Free Libraries, we've noticed that some of them were in really bad shape. They were not waterproof anymore. So we have taken that on as a project to make sure that all of our Little Free Libraries that are near the elementary schools and at the Martin Luther King Recreation Center, make sure that they are in good shape so we can put the books in there and they don't get wet. Another project that I took on as a personal project this year is to collect books that have been turned into the Dunedin Public Library that were being discarded from our schools, our school libraries, and our classroom libraries were being very carefully vetted, and certain materials were not accepted because they're not used in the curriculum anymore. So those were given to the library, and I've made sure that those get to the children, to make them accessible to kids. Because even though we don't cover that stuff in our curriculum anymore, the kids still need to know about it. And if you want to know further details on that, you talk to me afterwards. The refurbishing of the Little Free Libraries has been a really big project, and we've had some collaborators. Dan Kelly worked on that with Renee. And who else did you all collaborate with to get that done, Dave? Home Depot or somebody? Okay. You're not going to give me any of those details. Had a little help with painting and so on. Last week, for the Peace Poll event, I took some books in to distribute to kids who showed up, but very few kids showed up. So there was the free dental clinic, and I gave those books to the dental clinic so they could put them in their office to have in their waiting room for the kids who come. We also have a international project, the Guatemala Literacy Project, and that is ongoing, and we voted in our international committee to continue that, and I call that a literacy program. It's international. We have it's about 50, is it, Bev? 50 clubs collaborate with that project in Guatemala, and one of their big emphasis now is on teacher training. And this week, it was my pleasure to attend the principals meeting, which is held 4 times a year. And I always learn a lot about what the school's needs are. And one of the things we did find out about what the kids' needs are, when I called up to say, well, what school supplies do you need at your school? And at Dunedin Middle, they have a social worker who works there now, and she said, we need clothing. So we've been doing a clothing drive for the kids there. And that's going to be an ongoing thing. And if you ever if you want to bring some things to donate to Dunedin Middle, make sure they're looking for particular items, but the kids very often arrive not in uniform. And I know this doesn't have a thing to do with literacy, but if you can't come to school because you don't have the proper clothes, you're not going to be very literate. You're going to have a whole lot of trouble with school if your attendance isn't better. Attendance is down in our schools. We have chronic absenteeism, and I think a lot of it is because our kids just don't have the means to dress properly. So they come to school, if they're not in uniform, the social worker makes sure that they are in uniform. And that's helping our kids be better students when they can come to school and feel proud of what they're wearing. So think about that. They wear khaki bottoms and black or navy bottoms, and they have solid colored shirts with a collar. And, you know, they need jackets and sweaters, but they like solid colors, and they don't like anything with like logos on them and that kind of thing. So think about that as adding that. And I'm thinking we're contributing to the literacy, get our kids to school and have them dressed properly. And I didn't know until this year that Dunedin Middle now has a social worker. And that's good. All of the schools in Dunedin now are Title I schools. All of our schools. Now, does everybody know what Title I means? All right, Title I means you're a Title I school if the kids are eligible for free or reduced lunch. And if you have a certain number, then you are a Title I school. And now all our kids get free and reduced lunch. And that's good too. That's going to make them better students, and it's going to make us feel better about how our kids are doing during the day. You can think about them. At least they're going to be fed, they're going to be clothed, and hopefully they'll be better students because of that. And thank you very much for your attention, and I have this in writing for you. At your leisure, read this and remember what we're involved in, and you want to be part of our literacy committee, let me know. I'm looking for more members. Because everybody here could be carrying books around in the trunk of their car like I do and distributing them to the little free libraries. That's not a special skill. That's something that we can all be involved in. Thank you very much.
So much. Excuse me, was midway through a bite. Next, I want to call on Larry Franklin to talk about both our Interact Club at Dunedin High School, as well as the upcoming Dunedin Honeymoon Island Triathlon. It's coming up, quick.
Thank you, sir. We'll talk about Interact first. Actually, we have two clubs. We have the high school and the middle school that we oversee and we support. Both programs have flourished. The middle school was doing fantastic, but the issue we had was we don't have a faculty advisor at that school, and we don't have the principal who supported the program, moved on for the pandemic, and now it kind of falls on deaf ears because the principal doesn't know who we are. And trying to work with them there. The situation we have this year with Dunedin High School is the Interact program is idle because we cannot find a faculty advisor to do it. We have the support in our club to support the program, but you have to have a faculty advisor, and the principal could not find one this year, so we'll just keep looking for next year. But to give you an idea what Interact is, it's Interact for middle school and high school students, just like Rotaract is for college students for that particular age group. And trying to give you an idea, most people don't understand how big Interact is. Now, this is last year's numbers for Interact members. Last year, they had 341,953 Interact members worldwide, because Interact is worldwide as Rotary is itself, representing 14,911 Interact clubs spread around the world. It is a very popular program that case across 145 countries. To give you an idea of what they accomplished last year, the membership, it floats all over. We might have 5 members one year and 25, 30 the next. It kind of goes all over the place. I'm finding out when I go to, I forgot what they call it, spring fling or something to high school, when all the clubs come out and all the freshmen come, and to fit what clubs they want to sports, but they want to be involved with the high school. And I was standing there with our faculty advisor at that time, and I was amazed at the number of parents that walked up to us, and they sat there and made sure that their son or daughter signed up to Interact as a freshman, because they were in Interact when they went to Dunedin High School. Talking about aging yourself, but they volunteered the information. But to give you an idea of what this team accomplished last year, they supported Amputee Blade Runner. This is prosthetics for youth, mostly for sport. It's sports based. They raised $500 for the program. Our club matches whatever fundraising they do, our club will match it. So they sent $500 to the club. From the Interact Club, they received another $500 from this organization, received another $500 from us to match it. And it turned out we helped 2 kids pay off their bills so they could get their prosthetics because they were so close. And they actually sent us pictures of it. And what was so amazing about this particular story was the word started getting out about what the Interact Club had done at the high school. The next thing I know, Dunedin Refrigeration found out about it. They donated $500 in the name of the Interact Club. And we had 3 private individuals donate $500 in the name of the Interact Club. So it just took off across our community because it was such a big deal for them. We also support Ready for Life. Last year, they called their program, It Makes Sense, CNTIS, to care. And they go around raising funds and buying items for the foster kids and foster care system. But it's mainly for those who are aging out, because when you turn 18 and foster care, it doesn't matter where you're at. Doesn't matter if you're in foster care in someone's home. When you turn, you're still in high school, it does not matter. They remove you, and you're on your own. I've always, since I've been involved with adopting children, sort of thing, I found it to be a very cold and cruel process. You're ripping a kid out of some home who actually might be succeeding, and then all of a sudden they're on the streets. They also do staff recognition. They do staff recognition is not the teachers, it is the support staff. The ones you never hear about, the kitchen help, the janitorial help, well, we call them environmental engineers. They reach out to those groups, the maintenance team that keeps the school running. They always do thank you programs for them. They always do love attack for on the administration boards throughout the high school. They do fundraising last year for animal shelters. They did a Christmas tree giving. They supported Dunedin Cares throughout the whole year. They had multiple fund drives for money and foodstuffs that they gave to Dunedin Cares in their name. And that's I forgot what it was. It was some type of student encouragement program they did last year for any student who was feeling blue or whatever. They would always be, if they found out of that, they'd go see what they could do to help the student or see what was going on while they were so blue. But that's an idea of some of the things they went through last year. They were busy, they stay busy. It doesn't matter if it's 5 or 25. They just rock and roll the entire time. The principal is very proud of this program. He was proud of the students' accomplishments last year. Last year, it kind of went sideways on us because we had out of the 25, we had 24 of them were seniors, and we only had 1 junior. And we tried to backfield with other students, but it didn't come through. But we're hoping next year we'll try again, see if we get a faculty advisor and start that program up again. And also try to work with the middle school again to see if we can get them to raise the ear and we can start the program again there. Because even the middle school did great programs. They worked with that Flowers program here. They made 30 buses last time of flowers. They dug it and took them all to Beast Light for the seniors who did not have any family. Now let's talk about that big, beautiful thing that's coming up here in a few months, the triathlon. Now, for those of you not familiar with our race, this will be the 21st year that we've been doing this race. It is a sprint. It's not a small race. It's not a small triathlon. It's referred to as a sprint. You have sprint, which we have. You have Olympic distance. You have half Ironman, which is now called 70.3 Ironman distance. You have Deca Ironman, which is twice the distance. You can have a Deca Ironman, which is 10 times the difference. I never got a chance to do that one. But anyway. But that's the type of race we have at Honeymoon Island State Park. The first race we had, this was back in 2004. Currently, we're averaging between 350 and 400 participants. The most we've ever had was 700. What we found out that weekend is our race course will not support 700 people. But I tell you one thing, I do use that, register early, because if you hit a number, you might not be able to race this year. They don't fall for it. Last year, our numbers were down a little bit because we're on track to break over about 400, 425 last year. But the weather came out for the weather forecast that week, because we usually average about 50 to 100 registrants during the final week of the race. And the weather was supposed to be really bad this past race weekend. And and then that part, our accounts were down a little bit. And pretty much we just profit gross. There you go. The profit we brought in, total cost or total monies collected last year was just over $34,000. We had 3,000 sponsorships. We had over almost $1,700 in donations. And where those donations are coming from, and where those donations come from is for our race participants. But they pay the registration fee. A lot of them are just a lot of them. I forgot how many we had, over 100 last year. They just rounded up. They gave us additional 25, 10, $5 here, and it adds up. So that was very impressed to me. But it came down to it. We pretty much at the end of it, we cleared $14,000 was the net at the end. Now, for some of you, if you're curious about the cost overall or over the years, last year, for 20 years, we have grossed $793,000 from the race. And that's what I think that's fairly respectful of what we're trying to accomplish, was that's netting about $367,000 went back into our community. Now, talking about the race itself that's coming up, we're still shooting about 400 plus again this year, 450. The advertising campaigns have started for the race. Actually, they've been underway.
Larry, can you speak up a little bit? Can't hear you back there.
That's because you got to turn your bell down low. Come on, work with me. We're still expecting about 300, 400 this race. We're going to try to shoot about 450. participants this year. The volunteer part is where our club really needs to start focusing on more. We have to have at least 60 people to volunteer. Now, granted, the ROTC comes in and helps, and if they bring 10 of those kids, those cadets, well, those 10 kids represent 3 of us because they do the work of 3 people. They're amazing. It's a pleasure to work with them. They don't complain. All I do is ask what is next. But I also spoke with the chief. He also told me they made anyone who volunteers for the triathlon, he's made it part of the physical assessment. If they don't perform at the race, they'll fail their physical assessment for the end of the year. So I said, that's good. But you'll find if you work with them, those cadets are very respectful, thankful, and they're always looking for something else to do. But if you get anyone who wants to volunteer, please reach out to them and see if they can help. Also, sponsorship dollars. It's a really big deal. That really helps for us. What we try to do is raise enough sponsorship monies to pay for the expenses of the race so that the funds that we do raise can go back into the community. And plus, the primary thing it sponsors is our scholarship program. Do you all have any questions about the race itself?
I got a
Yes.
question. I heard it's a lot of fun.
Everyone I hear I've not heard anyone complain about having a bad time that volunteers for the race. Yes. Of course, we have Dunedin Brewery that donates 2 kegs of beer for us at the end of the race, even though it was year before last, we had 2 16-year-olds try to crash our party that were in the race. When I put the whole thing in Dunedin, one of our sponsors, I always put Dunedin Brewery in our advertisement. And year before last, I did put a comment and saying, you must be 21. So what these young men did not recognize was their age is written on the back of their left calf. So could you please turn around? Thank you, son. Come back in 5 years. But they tried to crash our party last year. Last year, we had the Blue Jays as one of our sponsors. They came out with their mascot. And I was speaking to the representative before a few days or so before the actual race itself. I was saying that it'd probably be a lot of fun with the kids because people do bring their kids to this race because you're welcome to, once you're in the park, you can stay for the day if you like. Your registration fee covered with the park admissions. You can stay and enjoy the park if you like. And I was hoping there'd be a blast for the kids. It turned out by the time I got done, the adults enjoyed messing with the mascot more than the kids did. It was a trip. I mean, they were just out there. Everyone's trying to take a picture, clowning around, having a good time.
One more question. I heard that your sponsor, you can actually put a tent out there and show everybody your wares.
You most certainly can. All sponsors go with Sponsorship Road. If you sponsor a race, you're welcome to bring a tent out and show off your wares. You're also welcome to put any items, brochures, pencils, whistles, whatever you have that has your logo on it, your name on it, can go in the goodie bag for the race participants. Because we do have that is available. And if you do have anyone, they can go to our triathlon website and they can download the brochure that gives you sponsorship information.
Larry, when will the website be ready for volunteering for the race weekend?
It's already ready.
It's already ready. So I can go on the website now and sign up to volunteer.
It was up about 2 months ago.
Hey,
How much does a sponsor pay to have a tent?
We'll do it for $250 and up.
250 and up.
Anybody else?
sponsorship information is on the website.
I go to look up DunedinTriathlon.com. You can go to our Rotary Club website itself. There's a webpage dedicated out there to triathlon. Pardon me?
We can put it out in an email so they get it, right?
We sure can. We're having a Race Place magazine start their advertising campaign. Actually today will be listed in their Race Place magazine for their 2 releases for this spring. We have 4 email blasts through them, which we have very good luck with. And we'll help anywhere else. I've got cards sitting on the table. Feel free to take them. If you have community bulletin boards anywhere, gyms, places you go, hang out at the community board, feel free to place on the board. Feel free to give it a sponsorship. If anybody wants to take a look at it, or you know anyone else that might want to know more information about the race, those cards are available for you to pick up and use and take with you. Yes.
We need some help with the food tent.
What kind of help would you need with the food tent?
Which is, people will go and shop, all the stuff. And also to be there early and get it all ready.
We can definitely work on the food committee.
Well, last year, I thought you did really well, that you and the other lady from Tampa. Well, anyway, I thought we did great.
I think it works out well. Every year you've done it.
Oh,
It's worked out great. I've heard nothing complaints about the food stuff.
We're still gonna do registration on Friday and Saturday
Yes,
and Sunday.
yes.
And where are we gonna be for registration?
Our intention is to have our packet pickup Friday evening at Outspoken. Like I'll go today. Saturday will be at Lucky Lobster, and then just registration by Sunday morning. Because that is a big win. The sponsorship thing, especially with the Outspoken, the chamber, they are always looking for someone to come to them with it, have a packet pickup, because it gives them more business. It puts them on the map. They're not just going to buy new bicycles, but they go in there and they buy new helmets. They buy energy gel packs, that sort of thing. And plus, it kind of gets them on the map. Because some places like Outspoken, even though that's Swin Bicycle Company, a lot of people don't realize who they are, and that's what their name is out in the fields. We had a lot of people get surprised last year. They did our packet pickup on Friday, late Friday afternoon last year.
Is that where you were last year?
Yes.
Are they gonna have us inside this time?
Pardon me?
Are they gonna have us inside this time?
They don't do the inside. They want to reserve us two parking places in the front door.
Larry, I have a question. What if you absolutely cannot be there that day? You'll be out of town at a wedding.
Just
What
make,
should you do?
make it $1,000. Excuse me, I said 1,000. I hit 1,000. We're here 1,000.
Can be done in advance. You could say, I did this. But we should-
Well, help with register. Well, you help with depends on what time you can be out. A lot of things is helping with sponsorships.
They,
We really need someone to help us with sponsorships.
and it, get a dermatologist, there you go, get out there and get a dermatologist.
Give out the sunblock.
We really do. If anyone out there that has the hand with sponsorships, those for you to help us with that, because this part of the race, I'm starting to get pretty busy. Most of mine is on the phone, and email, and that sort of thing, with other pieces of the puzzle. But if anyone would like to help David and I with the sponsorship, we'd really appreciate you stepping up and helping. All right, thank you, everyone.
Anything up to you.